Hey, ladies, look on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know what this means. Unfortunately, the horrible letter that starts with E, followed by Viction, has to be a frightening, horrible experience. And my heart goes out to anybody facing it. I hope it's none of you all. Anyway, as I say, people doing what? People do what they want to do. Whether they love you, disrespect you, respect you, care for you, they're doing what they want to do. So, I mentioned this before. Have a little update. Before I mention a guy, well put together, professional. I've seen his quality of women, smart, intelligent. He's like a pretty good dude. I've spoken with him. Um, Nothing bad to say about him. But they had it together. Okay. So, quick thinker. When his job laid off, he was in IT. When the job laid off, his caliber of women changed. He's a kind flowers, nice restaurants, and oh yeah, we all know dressed very nice, respectful. So when the job laid off, all of a sudden he decided to get married, but it wasn't to his usual caliber of woman. It wasn't. He married somebody who, I'll put it to you this way, she was sweet, but everybody was like, he married who? Are you sure? What would he want with that person? I just can't see it. No, nobody could see it. But I guess the man had a plan. Again, he was getting, well, actually, he was laid off. And it was, they say opposites attract, and I'm going to leave it like that because she was sweet, but it was very different. It was extremely different. Looks, attire, way you handle yourselves, yourself. She was more down home, y'all. Y'all gonna be doing that stuff. And he was rather polished. I'm just gonna say she wasn't as polished, even on her best day. But anyway, they got married. Now, of course, I'm thinking the same thing. He'd already had a home, nice home. And she had a home too. Matter of fact, her home that she purchased, it wasn't even 2 years old. So they basically she had a newer home. However, I guess the love bug hit, and sometimes it's not the love bug as far as romantic. Sometimes it's called I'm in love with my house, I'm in love with my place to stay, and gosh darn it, I don't want to leave. But see, that paycheck is leaving. So fast forward, he got married. Now you would think, okay, it's going to be a nice wedding. They got married in the park. No decorations. When I say married in the park, I'm talking about, and this wasn't well, we're going to go ahead and date for 15, 27, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. I'm not, no, 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 no. It was none of that. They got married in less than, I was told 4 months. Somebody else said 6. I got an invite, but I didn't go to the wedding. So they got married pretty fast. Oh, way, way super duper fast. It's like, huh? They got married really, really quick, and it was at the park. Uh, no decorations. A group of people showed up on the section, minister there, and said, "I do." And I'm like, there has to be like there's gotta be something, come on. Something to walk through, pergola, something, get something going. No, that it didn't go down like that, bruh. Not today. But again, people don't know what they want to do. So they got married. Sure did. How about that? And he convinced her to lease out her place. She leased out the apartment, leased out her home. And you know how that goes. You got to be very careful with renting. You can't do nobody my favor. My cousin got no. Well, see, my cousin, and he has a good job, but no. And so she did somebody a favor, got a quick renter in there, and then the person paid, then the person stopped paying and saying, well, been traveling, you have to still pay for your where you're laying your head. Then try somebody else to leave. She just got so bad she decided to go ahead, or just sell the house. Keep in mind, the house when she got it was less than 2 years old. So there was not like a lot of equity built up in it. So she sold the house and she escaped with her credit. She didn't leave with a bag of money. I'm sure he was happy. Because then guess what else happened? After she sold the house, thankfully, he was able to get another job. I'm so happy for him. Good paying job too. Lucked out. They had a child. Once he was able to get that new job that was paying the money that he was used to, accustomed to, of course, she was still working. He started acting up. Kind of surprised, but I know he's pretty a smart person. I thought, wow, because I already kind of had my idea from the jump. I knew about the layoff. He had already told me, which I'd heard about it, but he told me he was affected. So I put two and two together from the jump that, yep, he was probably getting married, in my opinion. Okay. After that, they've got a child. He's found a good paying job. He just started acting up. He acted up so that she said it was too much. I'm surprised that he was not active in taking care of the child. She said it was like it was all on her, and she just felt, she worked a full-time job and a full-time mom. Everything was on her. And knowing his mindset, dude is not slow. My opinion, I'm just gonna be honest. I figured that maybe he was doing that to get rid of her, wanting her to leave, and she did. Not going to ask you to leave, but maybe make it to a point that's unpleasant and you want to leave, so you do leave. She left. Yeah, she got out of there. And she ended up, keep in mind, she sold her house, so she left and she rented an apartment. That's what she did. She rented an apartment. And you stop and think about it. So I'm going to get to the present one on the screen. She rented an apartment. You stop and think about it. You think it has changed? People go through changes, of course, but in a young marriage like that, come on now, should be the honeymoon phase. I mean, seriously? No, I think he was acting up on purpose to get her to leave because I think she served her purpose to get him through a rough time to keep that house. And it was a not very nice home. That home is probably worth about a good 200 more than when he bought it. Well, no, it's about maybe like a good 100 more than when he bought it, possibly. But yeah. I think he did it on purpose. Got her, again, people do what they want to do. Got married that fast, thinking I'm going to lose my house. This is just my opinion. Now he's on his feet. Now he's acting differently, so differently that she and the child, she ended up leaving, and now she said she was living in an apartment. They're not divorced, they're separated, but it was too much. She's like, it's just work, work, work. Working a full-time job and come home and cooking and cleaning and the child. And you complain about this, complain about that. So I think mentally I'm just going to be honest with you. I think he was being clever. Cleverly getting her up out of there. I really do. So now, another brother. I mean, these men, and it could be in Dusty Dan, Mr. Wong going around. Dusty comes in all nationalities. It's international. Black, white, Hispanic, Caucasian, Caucasian, Asian, you name it. It's probably somebody dusty on Mars. We just don't know about it. Dusty Martian. So, young guy, another one, he was about to get evicted. And he was kind of worried, like, oh man, I'm worried, man. I'm so worried about my spot. You know what I'm saying? Man, so now, when they start the notice, it's like TikTok. The clock is like really, really the clock is ticking and you know what time it is, bruh. Well, guess what happened? somebody ran into him, so he was all smiling. It turned around for him too. All smiling, all happy. See, he avoided this on the screen. He avoiding this, having your, because he has an apartment, having your furniture put out on the curb. He avoided this right here. What did he do? What he did was he contacted one of the girls he knew back in the past. You know, when he was working, doing okay, and paying the bills and all that, he contacted one of those young ladies and started dating. And he had an epiphany of how much in love he was. Now, the word is, she didn't know he was being, the word is that she did not know that he was being evicted. No. So someone said, well, what are you doing? And he told them, man, I'm fine. I'm getting married. Fine, happy as a lark, working. He's getting married. Huh. How you like them apples? Bruh is getting married. Oh, ain't that sweet? Oh, what can you say? Come on, it's gonna be a wedding, people. People doing what they want to do, and as times get more challenging, don't forget they're saying that one report suggests that Black unemployment is going to be expected to be projected to be 50% by the year of 2030. We're in 2024. That's not too far away. 2030. So I'm starting to suspect that there might be some upticks in the marriages. Ladies, make sure he's there for the right reason. If he doesn't have his own, don't let him in your home. And I want to mention that because I thought about it. I was like, wow. So I wonder. So the current one, you know, he's working now, and you know he is married, and he's all happy. It's like, oh yeah, man. He must went to that Rolodex, went to that phone, and find one that was ready, and yeah, it worked out. But see, the question is, what happens when the man gets on his feet? That's my thing. What happens when he gets on his feet? So if you find a dude, somebody you knew back in the day that wasn't, you know, about marriage, about building, about family, then all of a sudden they want to maybe holler at you. Ladies, you know, we have to be wise. We have to be very, very wise. Check them out. Someone coming your way, all of a sudden, they want to talk about getting married, but they weren't quite there before. But all of a sudden, you know, he's there now, and that's great. You know, if it's genuine, he realizes how much he loves you, can't live without you. That's great. That's awesome. But think about it. If his money's looking a little funny, he might need somewhere to run, honey. Talk about manipulation. These dudes not playing. My question is, would the marriage have come? Why didn't it come when he was doing okay? And maybe he just wasn't in his love phase for you right now. You know, maybe he had to grow. Sometimes when you gotta disappear, they can see what life is like without you and then decide maybe that's it. But if he's been laid off, anything like that, it might be time, darling, to do some little, as they say, evaluation. Don't get played. Don't do it. Do not get played. As times get more challenging, it made me think. You think what I'm telling you about these two dudes? Do you really think they're the only ones doing it? And especially if you have a house, because don't forget, they can move in. What if he stays a couple of years? Is your house? Even some states, let me tell you, even if some states have like what's called common law marriage, and you think, oh, that's nothing, huh? If it's a common law marriage, he can file and get assets from you. But we don't have any pay. He moved in, he gets mail there. Oh, and don't have a child. Oh, it's a marriage. He can file and leave us some assets. You might have to pay him. Yes, ma'am. And some common laws states. It ain't a joke. Better trust and believe it. It's not a joke. Everybody's out for themselves. A lot of people want to get over. In this day and age, I beg of you, be so very, 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 be very careful. Because it's not a joke. Times get harder. People start to manipulate with a smile. And especially in our group, because a lot of men, are not marriage oriented, especially when they have something, some want to still just be that player. But in some states, this common law stuff is real. You'll look up, I didn't sign no paper with him. I never said I do. But he lived there. He lived there. And I researched it. I was like, wow. And he can actually file some papers and say, hey, I live till I get mail here. We're both, we're cohabitating, have relations. Well, how long you been there? Uh-oh. He can actually file and get resources from you. So I wanted to share that with you. Watch your back. If he hadn't been knocking, hey, at your door, want to go ahead and be what you need him to be, but he's going to start that now, he might have a motive. Again, if he doesn't have his own, don't bring him home. Like I said, look at the first guy. Who would have thought? So I already kind of figured, I think I kind of see what you're doing. I think he was driving her off just to get rid of her because he didn't want her there. I'm sorry to say, but that's what I think. Yeah, I think he didn't want. It's like, man. So now it worked out for him because in a moment of crisis, he did okay. In a moment of crisis, yeah, he did okay. In a moment of crisis, he did okay. Why is that? Because she was able to be there and help pay those bills when he got laid off. So now he's back on his feet, acting up. He's back to where he wanted, his home, back to himself. And then her friend called me and I listened. He's not chasing. She said he is not even calling to check on the baby to see if they're okay. Just to check in because you're still married. To check in, you're still married. It's like a place that we saw. I told my husband, I said, I want this house. You have to get this house. You got to get it. You don't like this style. Make an offer today. Hey, go do it. Try to make something happen. Why do I mention that? When a woman wants to be with a man and she's like, let's say you drop a little hint, I want to settle down. Oh, that ring is sure pretty. Hint, hint. You shouldn't have to keep saying it over and over again. And number one, if a man wants to do it, he should tell you. He'll just come out and ask. A lot of people are buying houses now for investment. They're buying houses now for investment. I'm like, oh my God, people buy more than one house. To me, that's kind of scary, to be totally honest with you, at one time. But people are buying it real estate. Why? That can. Yeah, investment. Oh, people going that way. Go ahead and get you a couple houses. I see them doing it. Wow. That's the whole reason behind it. But you might fall in love when you're like, no, I want time for a move. If the man can make it happen, he's going to make it happen. Because he wants you to be happy. And it's a good business move. It just depends. If they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. But people are buying some real estate now that's cheaper because they already know. A lot of us going to be leaving Florida, going to surrounding states. You better believe it. They already are. Floridians like to be outside. So people have a little change. That's what they do. Why? People doing what they want to do. People don't want to get married, not getting married in these long-term relationships. But when times get hard, all of a sudden, wedding bells are heard. Really, but they weren't hurt before. People doing what they want to do. Why? Self-preservation. Mm-hmm. Oh, trust and believe. Self-preservation. So this guy, bachelor number one, turned to married man number one. What do you think he's doing? I see you, bro. He's doing self-preservation. He want to preserve that house that he purchased. So he knew then those other chicks not gonna settle for a wedding. I mean, literally just go to a park and stand around and boom, here we go. You don't have any kind of decorate. Can we get something going on? Please? No, just show up here, preach, I do, we're done, married. Huh. Interesting. Doing what he wants to do for one reason, to keep his property. That's what I think. And then once he's got it, he's moving on. So this lets you know, all this excuse, oh, I'm not ready. No, that's not what he wants to do. And you can make your decision where to stay or go. But again, in this day and age, don't get played. I thought about that. Wow. Old dude has changed up on one of them. And you have to know what it is. That's to go ahead. I think he wants her to leave. Change up. Wants her to leave. Not checking up on her. What's going on with the baby? He does not care. That's the part that kind of, had me a little miffed. It's like, really? Bro, you're gonna really do that? I know you're better than that. You know what I'm saying. I want to think that he wouldn't be that kind of a dusty, but obviously not even checking on her to see if she and the baby are okay. They're there by themselves. No, he's not doing that because you know what? He got what he wanted. Someone to, in my opinion, somebody to help him maintain that house so he wouldn't lose it. And now that he's on his feet now, wow, he can maintain the bills, act up with Buttercup. Why, to get you out? Why? The objective of the marriage is to only save that house. And now number two, he's sitting up here, he's still smiling. He was facing this. As I understand, he didn't even have money to get the U-Haul or storage facility. He was facing this on his own back working, and the wife had a place move in with her. He's smiling and working, which congratulations, I hope it works out. But what happens if you come across some money? Is he going to be like the husband number one? Try to get you out? Because the purpose of the marriage, in my opinion, was shelter. He was more in love with this house. Let me know what you think about it. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share the information. It's all about what? Self-preservation. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.